and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And as by the sound you will probably notice, I am now back home from my holiday and ready to commence with some uploads for you guys. And today we are going to be discussing Ousmane Dembele, and at the end as well I'm going to be going over a few things that have been in the press this morning about Umtiti. Just something I wanted to discuss with you, not a whole video about it. We're going to talk primarily about Dembele, about his return, when we can expect to see him, what exactly is the delay, if there is going to be one, in his return, and at the end then some details on Umtiti and his contract, and most importantly his release clause right now. But Ousmane Dembele, guys, a lot of people asking me, when will he be coming back? Has there been some sort of problem? Is there anything wrong with his recovery? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Right now Ousmane Dembele training very well. He's been with the first team now for over a week. He was training in the lead of the Clasico. I don't think there was ever a real belief that he would be playing in that game. Maybe he might have been included in the squad at a real push, but I think overall we all expected him to miss that game, obviously not risk him for it, and then see him return at the very start of 2018, which had always been the goal. When he was first ruled out injured, when he got that injury, a very lengthy spell on the sidelines, it was always the aim to bring him back at the very start of the new year and then incorporate him into the squad, let him have his feeling back into the team and get ready to go again in a very, very big year for him. And nothing has changed. He's not had any setback, he's not had any niggles or anything like that. He's got the medical green light, he is ready to go. And there was a big report in Sport about this, about the way the club want to handle Dembele's injury and also his return onto the field, and that's really, really important. The club is so careful right now with the return of Dembele. They do not want to rush this by any stretch of the imagination, and they've also got the will of the player. Dembele himself doesn't want to rush back onto the field. He doesn't want to push himself and get back too soon and have a relapse or something like that, because you've got to be so careful with these kind of injuries, because you don't want to be going on the pitch with something in the back of your mind. You don't want to make those high intensity sprints because you think something might happen. You want to be going onto the pitch with one goal, to do your very best and to perform at your highest possible level. And Dembele wants to go out on the pitch with that mindset. He doesn't want to have any other worries about a relapse or about whether he's 100% ready. He wants to go out there when he knows in his body, in his mind, that he's ready to go. And I think the club right now are going to manage his minutes very carefully. But what happened was, about a day or so ago, Barcelona on their official website, and we all saw it, they came out with a big banner that said Barca against Levante, which is going to be on the 7th of January, and it basically said, it had a picture of Dembele and then a slogan: "Do not miss the return of Dembele to the Camp Nou." And everybody thought, fantastic, he's going to return, it's going to be at home against Levante, which is our first home game of the league season in 2018, and everybody naturally was very excited. Only a few hours later, that poster, that big banner, was taken down from the website, and obviously that causes a bit of confusion. Why would Barcelona put that out there, make the sort of graphic and then take it away? It doesn't really make any sense. And then, like I say, Sport came out with a very extensive report on how Barcelona plan to use Dembele right throughout the month of January, and the report basically said that Barcelona plan to play Dembele between 20 to 25 minutes per game in January. There is a possibility that he could feature against Levante in our first league game of the season. The game before that would be away against Celta in the Copa del Rey. It said basically that Barca want him to fully recover from his injury, even though he already has the medical green light. They don't want to risk him, and what they aim is, the final aim, the end goal for Barca right now, is for him to be a guaranteed starter, very much familiar in that lineup, by mid-February. That is very interesting indeed, because obviously we want to see Dembele back as soon as possible, but basically Sport came out and said they would not expect Dembele to be starting games until the very end of January, possibly even the start of February. Now, I'm just going to give you my take on this. Obviously, I don't have any inside information, but what I am going to give you is what I know, and that is basically that Dembele is pretty much ready to go. All we need to do now is get him back into the swing of things. Obviously, he's not going to be starting games immediately, but what he is going to get is the final stages of matches. Now, personally, I don't really see him playing in that first game of the season away at Celta Vigo in the Copa del Rey. I think that would be a bit of a soon to risk him. I also think that's a very difficult place to go. We have not had great success at Balaidos in recent years. It's a very difficult stadium to visit, and I personally wouldn't throw Dembele into that kind of game. The game at home against Levante, though, I think is the perfect opportunity to see him get some minutes. It's at home against a team who are languishing towards the bottom of the league. They're not doing so well. We're going to be very comfortable. We're going to be dominating the game. It should be a comfortable victory for us, and that for me would be the perfect perfect game to integrate him back into the team. What I would also say is, January is going to be a month where we're not going to be short of opportunities to bring Dembele in slowly. We could have as many as 8 games in the month of January if we progress in the Copa del Rey. Even without that, even if we get knocked out by Celta, we've still got 6 games, which is a lot of time to ease him back into the lineup. We've then got Celta at home on the 11th. Sociedad away could again be a very, very difficult game to start him, even to bring him onto the bench. Same against Real Betis. And that final game in January against Alaves on the 28th of January, I think that would be the perfect game. If he's had several sub-appearances, you could start him against Alaves. Give him a try. Again, a game against a team that are down the bottom of the league. Should be very comfortable. We should dominate the game. It shouldn't be a really high-intensity game. That would be perfect for me to start Dembele, then going into February with a good mindset, with a good feeling, and then we can see him more and more often in the league. And most importantly, I think the club obviously want to get him ready for those crucial Champions League games at the end of February and then the start of March. We play Chelsea away from home on the 20th of February and the return leg at home 14th of March. We play the return leg against Chelsea, and I think the club really do want Dembele going into those games to be comfortable, to understand his teammates, to be very much on board with what Valverde is trying to do, and to get him back in the team and playing well. So what I would say basically is I wouldn't expect to see too much of Dembele too soon. I may not even expect to see him in that first game of the season away at Celta, but at home against Levante I would certainly expect to see him at some point, maybe even then a few days later. Again, a few more minutes at home against Celta. The away games are more difficult. Against Sociedad, against Betis, they're going to be very, very brutal games at times, especially away at Betis. They're very much known when we go there to just kick us constantly. That home game against Alaves, though, could be a real one to put Dembele in and see how he does. So I want to know your opinions on that, guys. When should we be playing Dembele? How quickly should he be looking to start a game? Do you agree that we shouldn't be rushing him back, or would you like to see him as soon as possible? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And like I say, just before we do leave this video here, I do want to talk about Samuel Umtiti, because there have been a number of reports this morning coming out of Spain. Again, Sport have been making comments on Samuel Umtiti's future. Now, obviously, right now, Samuel Umtiti is out with an injury. He's going to be back around the start of February. When I do get some updates on that, I will be bringing those straight to you guys. But obviously, apart from that, he has been an unbelievable cog in our team this season. By far, one of the best players in our team. And basically, Sport came out this morning with an article on Samuel Umtiti, and it basically said that Barcelona are very concerned about the future of Samuel Umtiti right now, simply because of his very low release clause. Now, I say very low. Right now, his release clause stands at 60 million euros, but Sport pinpointed the signing of Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool. Obviously, I mentioned him a few days ago. I did say in that video, highly unlikely we'll go for him simply because of his price tag. Here he is now signed for Liverpool for 85 million euros. Now, 60 million for Umtiti compared to that looks an absolute bargain. Somebody who still has the peak of his career to go. He's been outstanding for us this season. Right now, he's out with an injury, but when he comes back, he'll be an integral part of our team and a massive part of our future. And right now, his release clause for me, we've said it before, all of us can agree, it's not high enough. Players who are not as good as Umtiti have much higher release clauses. It should be 100 odd million, 200, 300, whatever you want to do. Make a release clause which takes him out of the grasp of other clubs. Do not put yourself in the situation that we found ourselves in with Neymar. We don't want to go down that road with any player, particularly somebody who's as important to our team as Samuel Umtiti is. But the report went on from Sport to basically say that as of right now, no contract talks with Umtiti have been planned by Barcelona. Barca believe that he's very happy at the club and that he does no intention of leaving. Now, I can understand that, because I think Umtiti at Barca is very, very happy. He shows that in his performances, he shows that off the pitch. He's very, very happy in Barcelona. But if it was me, if I was, running this club, which I'm not, but if I was, I wouldn't be taking that risk. There's no need to take that risk with a player who is that good. Don't just test the loyalty. Get him signed and get him out of reach. That's what you want to do with your very key players. You don't want to take any element of risk, because and it goes on to say that basically Man United, Manchester City, right now, they could pay that clause like that very, very easily. They've got the money, they've easily money come by, and they could go and sign him. And not only that, they could offer him reportedly triple the salary that he currently earns. And again, that would be easy money for them, no problem at all. So what I would say to Barca is, don't take that risk. Make sure you're renewing with him as soon as possible. Give him the contract that he deserves. Give him the wages that he's earned. He's been a very good player ever since he joined the club. He was a bargain to sign. We've saved massively on his transfer fee. Now go out and give him what he deserves, and make sure sure his release clause is high enough so we can make sure that we're away from that risk for a relatively cheap fee in the modern market. So hopefully in 2018 we do see some improvement with our contract negotiations. Right now Sergio Roberto's in the final stages of his contract negotiation. Gerard Piqué as well is reportedly close to signing a new deal. Samuel Umtiti for me should be very, very high on our priority list. Get him renewed and get that release clause hiked up. We do not want to lose him, not for any amount of money. So leave your thoughts down below, guys, on Dembele, on Umtiti. What do you think of this whole situation? What kind of contract do you think he deserves? What do you think his release clause should be in the future? And how much of a priority should that new contract be? For me, he's a massive part of the team. He's an unbelievable player. And I think in the future, he's a massive leader in the team. I wouldn't even rule out Barcelona captaincy a bit further down the line. 4 or 5 years down the line, you could see him leading our back line and being a massive, massive figure in the future of our football club. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. I'm very interested to hear from you on Dembele and on Umtiti. I will have more videos coming up for you very, very soon indeed. Thank you, as always, for your patience and your support. I will see you very soon. But until then, as always, Vesca el Barça! 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 Barça!